So, I've always kind of gotten really attached to certain fictional characters. For a long time, I thought it was pretty weird. I've been doing it probably since I was little, like, oh goodness. I want to say like 7 or 8 years old. But yeah, I thought it was really weird that I always got so attached to fictional characters, especially anime characters. When I started reading manga and watching anime, I noticed I got really attached to certain characters. And then I kind of realized not long ago that there was a pattern to a lot of that. So today I actually kind of wanted to talk about 3 of those characters and how they kind of stuck with me and what they kind of represented in my life thus far. So let's go ahead and switch over to the first one. So the first character I would like to bring up here is one that's kind of been in my life for a very long time. And we're going to talk about Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. I want to start by saying we're talking about Howl from the Ghibli version of Howl's Moving Castle and not the book version of Howl's Moving Castle. I know there's a difference, and I know people get a little rough and toughed up about it, so I'm just gonna start by saying that one. I consider him kind of like a comfort and safety character. In a psychology kind of sense, from one of my understandings and all the studies I've been doing, because I'm really big into psychology, is that comfort characters kind of often appear when life feels unstable and you need that comfort and stability. They kind of regulate emotion and not excite the chaos further in your life. So, Howl. I mean, besides the fact, you know, the obvious things, he just feels warm, protective, and very gentle. And I'm like, yes, he's very dramatic, but he tends to choose care. He gets pretty ego-y in his own self way, but how he like handles everyone, how he treats Sophie, and he reminds her like she's beautiful and he loves her even when she's got her own curse and she's an old lady and she just hates herself, like she has 0 self-esteem, and he's always there to support her and make her feel protected and safe and cared and loved. So it kind of represents that safety without too much control and the feeling of like being held and chosen. That's kind of where those feelings are for me for Howl. Is he really creates that sense of calm, safety, care, light, protectiveness that I think I lacked a lot in my life. There was like no judgment at all with him. Even with the Wicked Witch of the Waste, like, I really love how they did Howl in the movie. So much. So we got Howl. Now we'll move on to the next one. So the next character we have will represent quiet strength for me. And we have Elle from Death Note. He's been around my life for a very long time. Probably sooner than I was supposed to see that kind of an anime. But when it comes to Elle, or Elle Lalette, depending on how you want to go about him, he's very calm, observant by a mile, and very emotionally contained. He can keep himself in check, like, really amazingly well. He has a lot of strength without aggression, which is a huge thing. He's obviously very intelligent, but he has restraint. And he's very, very patient, like so patient. He feels way more grounding rather than like overwhelming. And bringing up that psychology stuff again, I've kind of felt like there's an attraction to the quiet strength that often shows the need for safety and predictability, which is something that kind of has been hard in my life. So it's like he's not giving dominance, he's just being present. You know, he's like the smartest one in the room, but he doesn't act like the big dog, I guess you could say. At least most of the series and movies and what have you, depending on what you watch. We're not talking about the Netflix one, guys. I'm sorry. Just nope. Nope, 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 nope. He kind of made me feel like stillness could be powerful. That you don't have to say a lot to be really smart and know what you're about. And that it's okay to be weird. Like, I actually really prefer weird, and it's perfectly okay to be the weird one. And as a funny little side fact, I actually, in high school, I wrote a silly fanfic that's no longer existing, by the way. But I wrote one that was like Elle versus the Joker, and I'm stuck in between because it was... I always felt like it'd be so intense if Elle Lalette went up against Batman's Joker. And I really wanted to see how something like that would play out. It's so silly, but just a fun little add-on there. I was super, super duper attached to Elle for so long that even my mom still will find me stuff with Elle on it because she knows, like, he was a anchor in my life. So that'll kind of put in perspective a little bit about Elle and why I'm attached to him. So for our third and final one for today, we have a kind of complicated, slightly flawed, but amazing character, which is Roy Mustang. Give it up for the Flame Alchemist. Woo! Oh, that episode, Ed versus Roy. I just can't get over the metal versus flame. That was my favorite one. I watched it over and over and over so many times. So, Roy Mustang. from Full Metal Alchemist. He is a kind of deeply flawed in a way because of the things he's experienced and what he's had to go through and the situations he's been put in. But he's trying his damnedest to do the right thing. He does carry a lot of guilt from his past and what he's been forced to do. He has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, and he's extremely ambitious. And extremely might even be under an understatement. He's not really excused for everything he's done, but he's fully understood for everything that he is. It's a bit of the difference between like liking and idolizing someone. I really do like him a lot. And just because you do like someone doesn't mean you're going to endorse everything they do. Like obviously his actions in the war and stuff like that. Like he's not really that bad of a dude. Like let's be honest, he's actually really great and amazing. He's just got a bit of an ego and he's extremely ambitious and hilarious. He does what he has to do because he feels it's the right thing to do. At least post-war and what have you. He kind of mirrors, in a psychological way, he kind of mirrors internal conflict and lets us kind of explore some complexity safely. But also, his ambitious side really hit me in a weird place because I struggled with self-esteem like crazy for so long, and seeing someone not have like 2 cares about how they are, and they'll walk into a room like knowing that they're the center of the universe basically. Main character energy right there. But also being very smart and logical, knowing how to do things the dirty way but still for the right reasons. I kind of envied that in him a lot. And I always wanted to be able to, you know, walk into a room and have my strut going and, you know, be kind of that center focus immediately of attention in a way, I suppose. So for Roy Mustang, I think the biggest thing is it's okay to not be great, like perfect, but it's also great if you can be fully you and not be caring about what anyone else thinks about that. Just be you and be strong. Strongly you is basically what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think that's what I can say right now for Roy Mustang. So I guess to sum things up a little bit, I've kind of come to the conclusion that being attached to like fictional characters doesn't mean weakness or something you should really be super embarrassed or ashamed of. Fiction kind of gives shape to feelings we couldn't really name yet, feelings that we can't really get in the real world. We tend to lean to in fictional forms. Characters can kind of be placeholders while we also grow, kind of guidelines, helping us see what we want to see in ourselves in those characters to help us figure out how to do that for ourselves and in ourselves. I'm also just kind of really curious if anyone else kind of experiences these kind of things. I know a lot of people get like crushes and stuff, which I do too, on fictional characters. Not gonna say that I have any crushes on any of these guys. Nope, not at all. But to say like, I'm just kind of curious if you guys get kind of attached like that emotionally to characters and for what reasons you kind of do. And I'd really love to know kind of who ended up sticking with you and why they did. And I think that kind of sums up this video. I didn't really plan this one out too much. I kind of just wanted to jump in and get it moving and see where I could get with it. I'm going to likely make more of these just because I'm curious about myself and about what you guys will say and which ones you guys relate to or how you see these characters differently and all of the above. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, please let me know your thoughts in the comments and I will absolutely read them. So see you guys later. Ciao!